This is my heaviest. Eid of 2019, well over 200 pounds, 4 children and 10 years. I had a few dresses that I'd never worn but couldn't fit into any of them. So I bought a size 20 to 22 bridesmaid's dress from David's Bridal that I could fit into. Now, at 44 years of age, I am perimenopausal, and I've noticed over the last few years that it's difficult to lose fat and gain muscle. I've decided to get a gym membership to see if this will help me out, but I also know a key element to getting healthy is my nutrition. If there's one thing that is glaringly obvious, it is that I'm getting older and I need to take better care of myself. Yep. I am getting older and I need to take better care of myself. And I know that some of you ladies watching this are going to be in the same boat as me. You're realizing that things are shifting. We've got hormonal shifts going on, familial shifts going on. So if you have children, your children are getting older, maybe preteens, teens, or adults. You have parents that are aging if they're still alive. You have marital dynamics that are changing if you are in a relationship, if you're in a marriage, and then you might have financial shifts that are occurring. You're kind of realizing that maybe your financial state is not where you want it to be. So you're trying to think of ways to improve that as time is going on, as you're getting older. And then there are things like career and work shift. You know, maybe you're done with your career. Maybe you've had enough and you're thinking about changing careers at this point in your life. As a population, as women, once you reach your 40s, 50s, and 60s, it's like, okay, there are so many shifts that are happening and everything is coming to a head all at once. So I'm not going to discuss all of those shifts today. You know, I'm not going to talk about anything financial or anything relationship, marital, parental, childlike, or anything with regards to career and work. I can discuss those in a future video if you'd like, but primarily today I want to discuss those health and hormonal shifts that are occurring for a lot of us right now and how to mitigate that. One of the things I realize is that we don't make our health a priority, and that's not good as we age, because we're going to be relying on whatever we do now in this current state. We're going to rely on that in the future. So one of my mottos that I've been telling myself is to prepare. Pause and prepare for whatever it is that's going to happen in the future, right? And so we know, number one, if you haven't already been there, menopause is coming. That's a guarantee, right? So if you're a woman entering menopause naturally, no injuries to your hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal axis, no genetic anomalies, you haven't had surgery, for example, the removal of your ovaries, then if you're between the ages of 35 and 55 and you haven't already experienced perimenopause, you know that it's coming, right? That is a guarantee. And you might have noticed some things already started to change. What I want to do is talk to you about some of the things that I've started to notice, and then some of the things that I'm thinking about as I age, how to kind of get on top of things. So one of the first things I noticed after 40 is that it's becoming more difficult to lose weight. When I was in my 30s, early 30s, even after having 1 or 2 children, it was fairly easy it wasn't as difficult to lose weight. But after I had my 3rd and 4th child in my late 30s, there were no guarantees, right? It became so hard to lose the weight that I had gained. I was over 200 pounds by the time my last child was born, and it was just like, all right, well, let me just chalk it up to the pregnancy. But when the weight didn't come off, then I knew, something is going on here. Even with full day fasting, when I say full day, I usually fast full days on Mondays and Thursdays. Even with intermittent fasting, with a 16-hour fasting window and 8-hour eating window, the weight wasn't coming off. Trying to change things up in my diet, I just noticed that between 34 and 44, things started to change. This could have consequences down the line, for heart disease or for diabetes risk. And so it's something that I need, and I know some of you need to take into consideration more seriously, is how to figure out how to get this weight down, how to get the fat down, specifically the fat loss, so that we are having longevity in a very healthy state. I also started to notice that my gut isn't working the way it worked in the past. So I've always had an issue, well, not always, just within the last 10 years, I've had an issue with bloating. Now, I could chalk it up to post-residual baby fat, diastasis recti, eating too many foods with different types of hormones and ingredients that I'm not aware of. But even with all that, there is a level of bloat that I experience that even happens with water. And so a lot of what I'm doing at this point is trying to pinpoint what exactly I'm taking in that might be causing this real extended abdomen, and what I can do to fix that, what I can do to lessen the chances of me becoming bloated. Is it the food I'm eating? So for example, I've eliminated poultry because I noticed that after eating chicken, for example, I would get really distended stomach. I stopped eating a lot of snacks, especially those Trader Joe snacks. You know, those every month they come out with something new, and every month I have to try it. No, I just have to stop, because a lot of the snacks are packaged and processed and filled with a lot of things that, primarily sugar, that aren't just good for us. They're not good for our digestive system, And then another thing I also try to do is look into how much fiber I'm eating, look into how much protein I'm eating. Maybe my pre and probiotics aren't working as well as I thought they should or would or used to. There are so many things that we can look into to try to help us figure out what's going on. And it's a time-consuming process, because it's a process of elimination for a lot of us. We have to slowly tick off things off of what we do or what we eat that could be causing us problems. And that's what I've noticed. I also have to increase my intake of vegetables, the green leafy ones, for example, the spinach and the kale, as well as maybe more fermented food. I talk a little bit about fermented foods. How are those good for my digestive system? Also acidic foods. Maybe I need to increase more citrus-based foods or drink more apple cider vinegar, for example. How are these things are going to help me is something that I need to, really key in on. Hopefully I'll come to some real progress since I've been working. I've seen a little bit of progress, but not enough. I don't think I've seen enough for myself because the distension, I don't understand. Now, the third thing that I've been looking at with regards to my health is the perimenopausal symptoms. I've been talking a lot about that of recent, and that's because they came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, I'm waking up drenched, thinking the heat is high in my house, but whip off the covers and it's chilly. Or the itchiness, like where did the itch come from? I'm not sure why I'm scratching all over, my body. Strange things happen. The audacity of the menopause transition symptoms to come out of nowhere. And I have a lot more to come on that because I think that's a very important topic for many of us who are between the ages of 35 and 55, or if we're in the menopausal transition state or we're menopause and we're trying to figure things out, because the information is slowly unraveling itself with regards to how to mitigate and handle the symptoms, how to best approach preparing yourself, our hearts, our brain, our muscles, our bone. I made a video on this previously, and those are such important areas that we need to focus on right now. Our brain, bone, heart, muscles, because as our hormones, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, as they are reducing as we age, it does impact those parts of our body. It does impact how we're able to function. And so if we're not paying attention to that, we're going to be caught off guard when we're having symptoms such as brain fog or sarcopenia, osteoporosis, the hot flashes, the night sweats. Those things are happening because of our depleted hormones. And if there's something we can do with regards to our nutrition, our diet, our exercise routine that can help us, why not prepare? Why not look into it and get on top of it as soon as we can, or at least educate ourselves? Because sometimes it's just unavoidable. There's some things we can and cannot control. But I think preparation is key, whether it be through the education, as I said, the diet, nutrition, and the exercise. Those are some really important things that I think we could do. So a fourth thing I've been doing is listening to the personal stories, the life stories of women who are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. And it's important because Sharing stories is valuable, and it can help another woman along the way. You never know whose life you might impact, even if it's the smallest thing. You could say something and it could turn on a light bulb for another woman, where it's just like it clicks for her and makes sense. That's just what she needed to make a change, to make a transition. So I think sharing stories is very valuable, and it can be a very encouraging thing for us women, you know? I will always encourage each and every woman to do what's best for her. I will always encourage a woman to look at her nutrition and her exercise routine and her exercise patterns and try to help herself in that way. And I will always encourage women to just, do the best they can for themselves. Every woman's life situation is also different. She might have other stresses going on in her life, and that's why I'm here to kind of encourage a supportive community, to encourage everyone to kind of share their experiences. Somebody could benefit, I could benefit, another person watching this could benefit, and if it helps me, maybe it could help you. Every woman is different, but we can help each other. That's my motto. So I hope this video has been helpful for you. And me sharing a little bit of my story. I do thank you for watching. Drop a comment below. Don't forget to do that. And I will see you in the next video.